How much does a wealth manager make? Well, to answer that question, we're going to have to deal with definitions. What is wealth management? I'm going to even back up and say, what is a financial advisor? Because these terms are important to the question. But if you're asking me, just simple answer, how much does a wealth manager make? Well, if it's an effective wealth manager around the parameters that I'm going to outline here in a minute, then I would say a wealth manager makes between 7 and 8 figure revenue. Now, 7 and 8 figures, that's on an annual basis, a million, 10 million per year. But you're thinking, wait a minute, don't a lot of financial advisors make far less than that? Well, let me give you some context onto why I say it this way, because actually, the effectiveness and the competency of the advisor is really going to be directly related to how much they make. And if an advisor is effective, and I'm going to go through how I define that in a minute, then it's not really a goal. This amount of how much you make or how much the annual revenue is. It's more of an outcome. Effective financial advisors, even if their goal is not to make that much money, they can't help it. An effective financial advisor is building a 7 or 8 figure business. So let's back up. What is wealth management? I've dealt with this in other videos, and so I won't spend a lot of time on this, except to say wealth management is not a term in the financial services industry that has an agreed upon definition. It means different things to different people. If you're asking me, because I've been around 40 years, I would say wealth management is more of a marketing term. It's a term that a financial services company uses when they want to imply that they deal with more affluent clients, typically in the area of investment management. But I'm going to define the term a little more precisely here in a minute. And let's back up even further from the term wealth management and deal with the term financial advisor. I think that's where you start this conversation, because I think financial advisor is the best term. It's the broadest term when we're talking about advisors who deal with an individual or a family's financial affairs. And many financial advisors are highly niched specialists. Let's talk about tax accountants or estate planning lawyers. I would call all of these financial advisors. But yes, of course, financial planners, investment managers, money managers, I would say even investment salespeople, life insurance agents. It's casting a wide net when we use this term financial advisor. The way I would define financial advisor is if an advisor is helping a family or an individual coordinate their financial affairs, well, you're a financial advisor. It doesn't matter if your primary expertise is in the area of tax planning or estate planning or something else. That's a good working definition for financial advisor. Now, wealth management, what is that? It's a lot more vague, and even in the industry, there's not an agreement. But I'll tell you this. When I started thinking about this more than 20 years ago, it was in the year 2000, I thought this is ridiculous. Clients know this term, wealth manager. So it really matters more, what does the client have in mind? When a client thinks, I'm looking for a wealth manager, if you're in the industry, you should be thinking, what are they thinking? What is it that they want? And then that's a great place to start, because now you have a market of people that are looking for something in the financial services industry, a certain type of advisor offering a certain level of service, and the market's already there. It's affluent people seeking a wealth manager. All right, so 20 some odd years ago, I defined the term wealth manager, at least for our firm. I trademarked the term truly comprehensive financial services. I was able to trademark it because I defined the term as delivering 10 client deliverables across 5 areas of personal finance. And it's a checklist of 142 things that we provide to our clients on an annual basis. So think of it as a checklist. You've got 5 areas of personal finance: money management, financial planning, insurance, estate planning, tax. So what we did at our firm was we hired subject matter experts in each of these areas. And we told each of them, we want you to create strategies and tactics across each of these 5 areas. And we want you to, create a checklist of everything that needs to happen on an annual basis so that nothing falls through the cracks and the client is on track to their objectives. Okay, fine. So 20 some odd years ago, my 5 subject matter experts in these 5 areas of finance came up with a checklist of 142 things. And the way it worked was if we cycle through these 142 checklist items with every client on an annual basis, check the boxes, then nothing falls through the cracks, and we can certify that the client is on track to their objectives. Okay, so that's how we define it. I would call it truly comprehensive financial services delivered across 5 areas of finance. Does that help? So that's wealth management. Now let's get back to what does a wealth manager make, or how much does a wealth manager earn? It really goes to competency. If you have a financial advisor that is delivering comprehensive financial services roughly the way I just described it, the question then is how effective are they? Is the client feeling they're on track to their objectives? And is the advisor helping the client make better choices with their money on a regular basis? In short, are we exceeding the client's expectations, not just in the first year when you sit down and organize everything for a client for the first time? No, the objective is to get the client's financial house in order. That usually takes the first 6 months or a year to get things kind of organized and in order, depending on how much chaos there is in the client situation. But then after everything's in good order, how do we keep it that way for the rest of their life? That means in year 2, year 3, we continue to come up with strategies and tactics that help the advisor accelerate their objectives and make better choices about their money. Now, from a client perspective, the question is, are we or are we not exceeding the client's expectations? It's not about the advisor delivering a certain level of services, or in my case, checking the boxes 142 times in the course of a year. No, that's an internal process, and we're very satisfied professionally that we've checked all the boxes and nothing's falling through the cracks and the client's on track to the goals. But no, when we get to the point, this question of how much does a wealth manager make, it more comes to the point of how does the client perceive the service? Are we exceeding what the client expected when they first hired us as a wealth manager? Well, it's really the outcome of the services is where you measure that. If we're exceeding client expectations, 2 things are happening in that firm. And this is consistently across the board. If the clients are happy, then the business is growing and you have satisfied clients. In other words, client satisfaction is high. All right. So if client satisfaction is high, what's the outcome of that? Client referrals. So I am going to tell you that in an effective wealth management firm, you know that they are growing and that you have satisfied clients because you're exceeding client expectations. You're receiving lots of client referrals, in many cases, more than the advisor can handle. We're receiving so many referrals from existing clients because we're knocking their socks off. And we're exceeding their expectations. Therefore, lots of client referrals are coming in, and therefore the business is growing. Now, when I say growing, I'm talking about clients are being acquired on a monthly and quarterly basis. There is never a quarter where we're not adding clients, acquiring clients consistently. And there's never hardly a week that goes by. I'm going to say certainly never a month that goes by that there's not new business, new revenue that's generated. So I'm just saying it's an outcome. If you're delivering wealth management in the way that I'm describing, in such a way that it exceeds client expectations, then the clients are satisfied. They provide referrals because they can't wait to tell all the people they know and love and care about this wonderful service that is serving them so well and exceeding their expectations. And then those referrals become new business revenue, new clients. The business is growing. There's never a quarter, year over year, that we don't have more clients added and more new business revenue generated. Okay. So what does all that come down to in terms of dollars and cents? I have never come across a competent wealth management firm that operates generally the way that I'm describing, where the client's expectations are being exceeded, where the revenue didn't just march steadily towards 7 or 8 figure revenue. So bottom line, if the financial advisor is effective, they're delivering on the promise to the client of wealth management, meaning truly comprehensive financial services, and the client's expectations are being exceeded, then those advisors, the competency is measured by the revenue that's coming in. And those advisors, it may not even have been their goal ever to have been making $1 million a year or $10 million a year. It doesn't matter. It's the exceeding of the client's expectations that means that the outcome of the success of the business is that it just marches steadily eventually towards 7 and 8 figure annual revenue. So there's the answer to your question. If you're an effective wealth manager delivering services the manner in which we're describing here, you can count on earning 7 to 8 figures. I'm going to say within 5 years. And it just depends on how quickly you can implement truly comprehensive financial services and how fast you can figure out what your clients are expecting so that you can exceed their expectations. With those two things in line, it's inevitable. It's a 7 or 8 figure income business. No questions. That's the competent advisor. Now, advisors who are making substantially less than that. So if you know a financial advisor that claims to be offering wealth management, comprehensive financial services, but they're earning, 6 figures or maybe even less than 6 figures, let's just be kind and say this is not a wealth management firm that is someone that you would refer to. This is a wealth manager that's in progress. It's a work in progress. This is a wealth manager who is trying to put all the pieces together to deliver on what I'm describing here. But let's face it, if the business is not growing and if the business is not receiving client referrals, well, let's not kid ourselves here. This is not a successful business. I was just talking with an advisor last week. She's very sweet. I was confident that she's skilled. The question is she delivering what she describes as wealth management in the way that we're talking about here? Well, she's earning $1 million a year, that's for sure. But when I asked her, how satisfied are your clients? Oh, my clients are very, very satisfied. They love us. They love our services. Oh, really? Great. What's your client referral rate? Oh, well, that's a problem. We've only received 2 referrals in the last year. 2 referrals. That's not what we would call satisfied clients. This is not a business where the client's expectations are being exceeded. Let's be honest. And I said, well, year over year, are you making more new revenue this year than you generated over the previous 12 months? Nope. We only got 2 referrals. And in the last 12 months, we've only acquired 2 new clients. And so, yeah, we're making a little more revenue, but not more than we made the previous year. So the company is not growing and the clients are not satisfied as measured by client referrals. So don't kid me. This is not a successful, effective wealth management firm. They're doing something. And in this case, I dialed it in. She's doing investment management, but that's not truly comprehensive financial services like she described to me. So she clarified to me that she's offering comprehensive financial services, but this is not a firm that's offering comprehensive financial services at an effective and competent level yet. So there's always hope. And that's actually the advisors we work with at our firm, advisors who want to deliver truly comprehensive financial services and want to be effective when it comes to client satisfaction and consistent growth of the firm. That's the only healthy firm there is. If a firm is not growing new business revenue, like if you're not bringing in new revenue monthly or quarterly, every quarter, well, this is not a growing business. This is not a sustainable business. Let's face it. So there's a measure of success. So how much does a wealth manager make? Well, if you were asking me, an effective wealth manager makes 7 or 8 figures in revenue per year. All right. Hope that helps. I'm Mark Little. We'll see you next time.